and these young guys will or they won't mental and rest as anything. So unfortunately, we've been in this position before where we have to pick ourselves up, and that'll be the game plan come Monday. But there's still lots of hockey to play, but not if you're not right, not if you're not focused, not if you're not beyond this. They're disappointed. I'm not talking about just me. We are disappointed. But come Monday, we'll have to be refocused and ready to go back to work, because there's lots of hockey to play. There's a championship still there for us, and that's it.
Do you think that goal that was at the end of the first, do you think that was kind of like a turning point?
Unfortunately, I do. I really do. Where, last night it made it 2-0 and it kind of fired us up. It's completely and utterly unexcusable to be giving up goals with under a minute to go in periods like we've been doing. But it hasn't rattled us to the point where it rattled us tonight. And then we kind of get a break and get a 2-man advantage. This is going to sound like an excuse, but we've got young people in situations. Jordan Ernst gets a shot blocked, almost falls down for a goal again. Shane Bednar turned. Those are both freshmen. Is it our fault that they're on the ice? Not necessarily. I mean, those are the players that we think are capable. But they're still freshmen, making freshman-type mistakes. Unfortunately, tonight they ended up in our net. But that play at the end of the first rattled us. That 5-on-3 goal against rattled us, and it was only 2-1. I mean, the game wasn't over. But we almost acted like it was. And then, their third goal was the break they got. I mean, that hit our stick in front of, I don't know what to say about that. Why we deserve that bounce, and we got it. We got it. So, to answer your question, yes, I do think it rattled us. And then I think the 5-on-3 goal against was unfortunately was the straw that broke our back.
You mentioned earlier about trying to see if the bench would respond on their own. They didn't respond in the way you wanted, so now do you have to be harder on them, coach differently?
I honestly feel I'm beyond. We're beyond that. We're beyond me yelling and screaming and trying to create something. The bottom line is we had an opportunity this weekend that we didn't take advantage of, and we have to continue to preach what we're about, and that's the best version of everybody every day. And we didn't get that tonight consistently from me all the way down. And we go back to work Monday and try to get, that's the goal, try to strive towards that. But I don't think I believe it's 9 games left, guaranteed. I don't think it's the time to yell and scream. I think it's a time to go back to the foundation of who we are, which is a bunch of people that trust each other and have relationships, and we're striving for the best version of everybody on a daily basis. That's the responsibility of the people within that room, people within the program, quite honestly. So that'll be the. I don't know to do any more. I mean, me running in there and yelling and screaming, all that does is release my stress and my tension. It doesn't do any good. Maybe there was a time for that. I don't think that's the time right now. But the responsibility lies with me. We've got to figure out a way to put this behind us and go back to work.
If you keep reminding of the specific messages that you want, what are the signs of body language that you want to see in those last 9 games?
I want to see us play more to our level than we did tonight. I thought there was times last night in the second, third period we did that. I want to give full marks to our opponent, because there's always somebody that has something to say when you're in series like this. I mean, it's not just us playing poorly. They played well. They executed. They took advantage of chances. I think a sign of desperation and intensity is blocking shots. There's no way. I think our shot blocking guy was off. There's no way they blocked only 11. I think they had 11 each period. Anyway, that's a sign of desperation to me. The way they shot the blocked shots in the power play. You look at the replay of their 5-on-3 goal. The way that kid blocked that shot, he wanted to block it, and he got rewarded for it by going down and scoring. the desperation and the intensity, that's what we're striving for. So I want to give them full marks, but it's we just didn't fight as hard as we did last night. So it's not going to be, again, the focus on Monday, it's not the end of the world. There's 9 games to go, and then hopefully 2 more in playoffs, and there's still a championship at hand. We've got a tough task going on the road to Minnesota State, but a place that we've had success before a couple of years ago when we played there. So that's why I say it's damage control. We can't be tripping over our lip, and that's where they're going to look at me and say, well, what's he acting like? Is he all disappointed, and are the coaches all yelling and screaming and panicking? And that's why I say I don't think it's time for that. I think it's time to refocus and go back to work, because win or lose, that's what you should do, and that's what we'll do. We'll rest tomorrow and we'll go back to work Monday.
Do you feel like the goal at the end of the first period was a turning point, and the 3-on-5 goal becomes an even bigger turning point?
Yeah, for sure. Whenever a team scores in the last minute, it obviously gives them momentum for the next period and stuff. And I thought we had the momentum, and then they got that goal, and it kind of turned with away, and then they got that 3-on-5 goal, which obviously is a huge momentum killer.
Do you think tonight was a very big battle, kind of more with emotions than it was actually playing?
I think maybe at times tonight we struggled with not getting too low and high, not staying even keel on the bench, but not really. I think we ultimately got to play better to compete for championships in this league.
What do you take away from this series that you need to work on?
I think just playing better on Saturdays and showing up with our A game all the time, because anyone can beat anyone in our league, and it's so tight at the top of the standings, and every game matters.
Mark, certainly this was a big series, but you guys have another big one next weekend. How do you go about making sure there isn't a hangover or carryover to next week?
I think we learn from what happened this weekend, and then move on and focus on how we'll prepare for